What is up, guys, and welcome to the Everything Goes podcast. Happy delayed Thanksgiving. I don't really know the real word for that. But stay tuned for this podcast, guys, and enjoy the nice music.
Been lit, boy. Everything goes.
We now return you to regular programming.
All right, where do you want to kick off at? Start with the turkey games.
I'm getting my camera on right now. No, I don't know. You can go wherever you want to go. It was a horrible weekend for me, so. Besides Thanksgiving, but other than that, sports-wise, sucked.
Let's talk about your Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, of course. Got to go right for the jugular.
No, I mean, luckily, the Eagles lost today to Miami, which a lot of people did predict. You know, Dallas 6-6 is still leading the division, which is nice because there's a lot of NFC teams that are really good in the wild card right now. But hey, as long as you can win the division,
it doesn't matter. It's the weakest division in the NFL.
I'm saying
we're going to end up playing a 12-team. You know, sad is someone that's going to have 12 wins probably is going to be a wild card team, and it's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, it's what happens. You know, if you can win your division, it doesn't matter what your record is. Playoffs is a different thing. People get hot, people get cold.
And you know what's sad is if Dallas and the Eagles continue to lose, the Washington Redskins, if they win out, will win the division.
Giants just got eliminated,
yeah.
Just so you know. I don't know if you knew that or not.
If the Redskins win out, they'll have 7 wins. They'll be 7-9. And Dallas and the Eagles will either be 6-10 or whatever, 5-11, depending on however they fall. But the Redskins still have a shot at winning the division. And at this point, it's frustrating. It really is. I'm sick of debating about Jason Garrett. I'm sick of debating about this team, and I really don't care what happens. I mean, if they go. That's great, but I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs anyway.
Listen, Prescott didn't play too bad. He had 355 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Zeke, I think, 71 yards rushing.
No, Dak Prescott did play bad. He had 2 fumbles that cost us the game. 3 consecutive drives we went down there and we didn't. Well, 2 of them. One was a fumble, one was an interception, and then we have a kicker who can't hit field goals anymore. Goes up to New England, he scores all of our points for us, comes back home, and he just can't hit anything. So Dallas is a mess, and that's why it gets fired me up, because they want to fire Jason Garrett. But it doesn't matter what coach is in there right now. Our players aren't playing to the capability that they know they can play at, and it is what it is.
I don't think Jason Garrett's the main problem. I think you do need a new change. So I think you guys need a new change, whether that's Kellen Moore, whether that is.
It'll never be Kellen Moore.
No.
You can't put a new offensive. Look, I'm for change, but my whole thing is, and I debate this with everyone else, is who are you putting in there? Who are you putting in there? I mean, Jason Garrett is what he is, and I know it's 10 years and he hasn't done this, but at least we win every year. You know what I mean? We get a chance to get to the playoffs. I mean, if you come in with a new coach and they tear that whole process down, they get rid of Kellen Moore, they get rid of the defensive coordinators.
You can make your defensive coordinator head coach.
Well, Rob Marinelli needs to retire. He's old.
No.
Chris Richard.
Richard.
You know, they did that in Chicago. They brought in a fiery defensive guy in Singletary, and it didn't work. You know, some of those guys don't like to be yelled at and don't like to be screamed. It's not a matter of how you look. I can go on and on about this, but I'll tell you one thing, and I don't care if Rudy and Noah both come on the freaking YouTube channel and write their little stupid comments. The team never quit on Jason Garrett. Not yet.
That's true.
The team never quit. And I know they're like, oh, yeah, we got to get new players. Rudy, just worry about your Minnesota Vikings. Don't worry about what's going on in Dallas, because you're almost as bad as the Eagles fans right now. You and Noah tag teaming me all the time. And Jason Garrett's not going to get fired during the season. It's just not something... it's not
Especially
something that the
you're
Joneses
division.
do. You're not going to fire your coach during the season. It's not going to happen. And it is what it is. I mean, I used to get all fired up over this crap, but now I kind of just go with the punches, and it is what it is. Now we have Thursday in Chicago. Chicago's 6-6. Can Dallas win on the road?
My thing is,
I don't know.
I have Sean Payton as a coach. I don't have Sean Payton. The Saints have Sean Payton as a coach. Great coach. One of the top coaches in the league right now, you could argue. You've watched it. There's a lot of years where Sean Payton, about 3 or 4 times in a row, went 7-5, and we won in a crappy division. But not once did we think about firing Sean Payton. And now you look at it, the past 3 years, we've had like maybe 3 losses in each of those seasons, made playoffs. So it happens.
But
It happens.
Firing your coach is just the easy way out. But like I said, what's your answer? What's your answer going to be? You know, who are you going to bring in that's going to motivate this team to turn it around? Because you know what? You have some of the best motivators on the team now. Chris Richard fires the defense up, but we can't tackle.
Yeah, and this can't all be blamed on the offense. I mean, your defense went from being an elite defense weeks 1 through 3, and all of a sudden just where they at?
It's like we changed our whole scheme. You see the linebackers dropping back into coverage. The middle of the field is wide open, and our pass rushers on the end are so aggressive that they come out wide. It leaves pass for these running quarterbacks or for screen plays because the linebackers are way downfield. Cole Beasley looked like one of the best receivers in the league. He destroyed us.
How about that reunion? I think he had 110 yards receiving, and he had a touchdown.
Yeah. So, you know, there's a lot to it. It's not just a matter of firing the coach. The whole team, you know, I think the whole team was overhyped. Really do. You know, on paper, we look great. We really do. We look great.
A lot of big names.
But we don't make the plays.
You think about it, too. Buffalo's got a good defense. You got to give it to them.
Their
offense isn't like the best offense, but they have a good defense.
Look, we're going to get into power rankings later on, and I'm going to do my 5, and then you're going to do your 5, and you'll be surprised at a 5 I have. Just like New England. You know, New England's 10-1, but you look at the teams that they played and they beat.
Don't think New England's best.
You don't make the schedule, and you don't make what division you're in, but they're in an easy division. I mean, you play Miami twice. You play the Jets twice. You play Buffalo twice. You know, they don't really have a tough schedule. They played the Giants. You know?
Yeah.
They played Dallas. They played Philadelphia. Teams that aren't good. So we'll get into that later. But again, it's not that I'm against firing them. I don't think firing them now is what you want to do.
No, I think you started that. I think that starts a rebuild, and you don't want to do that right now with how young your players are. And
the only way I would say go ahead and do it right now is if the only person I see fit to take over right now on that team is John Kitna. I think because he's coached before, you know, he coaches outside of the NFL. He coached, I don't know, one of his son's teams or something like that. But the team loves him. You know, Dak Prescott loves him. They can still communicate good and let Chris Richard work with John Kitna. And then maybe I'd say go ahead and do it. But if you're talking about firing Jason Garrett and just throwing Chris Richard in there, and it's not going to work. You know, Chris Richard last year was probably, you know, was his best chance to become one of the coaches in the NFL, and no one took him. And if you look at it now, I don't know how good Chris Richard is. Sure, when he was in Seattle, he had all that great talent around that defense, and Seattle's defense was one of the best in the league. He came into Dallas, sure, he got everyone fired up and motivated to play, but I don't know. I don't think he's a candidate for us.
It's tough. You're still first in your division, which is nice. But at the end of the day, you know, some stuff needs to change.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, just that Dallas this year, they just can't beat teams with winning records. I mean, if they win out the rest of the year and beat the teams that don't have winning records, you know, they'll go 10-6.
Yeah. Well, my Saints beat the Falcons to clinch the third straight NFC title, which was I didn't even get to watch. I watched half the game because I had to work for Black Friday. But my Saints are looking good, man. You gotta give it to Taysom Hill. He has a passing touchdown. He has a rushing touchdown. He's our third-string quarterback. He's insane.
I know you're a Saints fan. The Saints don't jump out at me as one of those teams that are dominant. They really don't. I mean, you guys struggled the last couple of weeks. You struggled against Carolina. You struggled against Atlanta and lost. You came back and beat Atlanta 23-9 or something like that. But you guys are just, I don't want to say you're not good. You're good, but it's like you're not putting the whole package together every week like a dominant team.
I don't think we struggled against Carolina.
You almost lost to Carolina.
Our defense gave up points, but our offense looked amazing. And our defense still hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher.
But that doesn't matter.
We shut down
You're
Christian
still
McCaffrey.
A lot of points.
I know.
But what I'm saying
is... And then we beat Atlanta on Thursday. Like, they weren't winning.
I know. But the week before, you struggled against Carolina. And the week before that, you lost to Atlanta. But what I'm saying is, the whole thing you're not hearing is you're not putting the whole package together again. Like a Baltimore. A San Francisco, even though they lost today, every week they have that package where they're almost guaranteed to win those games. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see the Saints doing it. And I'm not saying that the Saints are bad. The Saints are good. But if the Saints have to go up to like a Minnesota, or the Saints have to go to the 49ers, or the Saints have to go to maybe even Seattle, which I doubt it because it'll be a wild card, I just don't know if the Saints can do it. And that's just my opinion. I'll tell you right now, Dallas couldn't do it.
We beat Seattle in Seattle this year with Teddy Bridgewater.
That's just saying.
We play the Niners in 2 weeks.
Playoffs are a whole different beast.
I know. We play the Niners 2 weeks in the Dome. I'm not going to get in an argument here about how good the Saints are because I think the Saints are the best team in the league. But
Well,
we
they're
get,
in the second worst division. NFC East,
There it is.
and then the NFC South.
Listen, we still play good teams. I mean, you look at the Saints' schedule, the whole first half, they played tough teams, tough defenses, and they won. You could smirk all you want. You could talk all you want. You got to admit, the Saints are a good team. They won 4 games in a row without Drew
I'm
Brees.
telling you, I'd gladly say the Saints are a good team, but I wouldn't put money on them to win a Super Bowl.
You know what, man?
I'm sorry.
Anything can happen, okay?
I'm just sorry.
We can at least truly say that Michael Thomas is one of the best receivers in the league right now.
Yeah, maybe this year.
Yeah. But Michael Thomas having the best wide receiver season in NFL history.
No, not even close. He have 110 receptions, 1,200 yards. You better look at your stats.
Listen, man.
You better look at
this
your
is-
stats because I got
this
my
is-
stats over right here.
This is just an article, okay? I'm just saying.
Who wrote it? The Times
NFL,
picking you out of the
NFL.
Time picking you out of the New Orleans?
No.
No.
Listen, only 3 NFL players have caught more than 70 passes this season. Wide receiver Michael Thomas has caught 104 already this year. Okay? Only 3 players have amassed 1,000 receiving yards. He already has 1,242 passing receiving yards this year.
So you're saying in NFL history, how many guys have only caught 70 receptions?
What? No, only 3 NFL players have caught more than 70 passes this season.
Oh, this season. I thought you meant NFL history. I say, well, you're wrong.
Well, they're saying, is he going to have the best wide receiver season in NFL history?
Well, he will. He's going to have a lot of receptions because
you
he's
thi-
the only good receiver on that team.
You think? Yeah. Okay.
Him-
okay. Now,
Him and Kamara.
Now let me think. Now let me think about this. Okay, let me think. You're saying he's the best receiver on that team,
Absolutely.
so he should be getting double coverage, and yet
No.
he's still beating guys.
No.
Yeah.
You can't double cover him. You can't.
All you gotta do is take out Kamara and take out Michael Thomas.
Well, you're going to find out in the playoffs. But he only has 1,200 yards right now.
Only, dude. Think about that.
The best receivers in football right now, the number 1 receiver in football for the most stats in a season is 1,964 yards, Calvin Johnson, 2012.
And there's like, what, 5 games left?
Julio Jones has done it several times. He has 1,870 yards in 2015. Jerry Rice did it in 1995, 1,848. So you still have 600-plus yards to go in 4 games.
Yeah. Well, when they played the Carolina Panthers last week, he became the first player in the league history to catch more than 100 passes 11 games into the season. He's 60 yards behind Julio Jones for the modern record for most receiving yards in an 11-game mark. And then he's on pace to become the first player ever with 150 catches in a season and just the 5th to go over the 1,800 yard.
That's all fine and dandy.
He's blight. You know, I said about
It's all
4
fine and
4
dandy.
years ago, or his rookie year, I said to you and Noah, Michael Thomas is going to be a top 5 elite receiver. And every year he gets better and better. And but in all seriousness, not even being a Saints fan, you know what's cool is you see a lot of guys in the NFL and baseball, they get paid a lot of money. And then, like, they're not as good anymore. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of just collect their... Wait, I'm still talking. I'm not even, like, bragging about Michael Thomas right here.
Yeah, you are.
No. Like, I've talked to you about this many times. Clayton Kershaw is a good example. I love him because when he got paid, he plays his heart out. But you have a lot of guys who get such big money and they kind of just collect their paycheck every week. They don't really care if they suck or not. Michael Thomas just got paid. He's having a historic season. Like, he is giving it his all. And it's like, what is there to prove? Like, he's got so much money now, and he's just going off to another level.
Yeah. But if you go back a couple years, and if you still have multiple good receivers like you did a couple years ago, when you had Willie Snead and all of those guys, and Drew Brees spread the ball around, Michael Thomas wouldn't have over 100 receptions right now. He really wouldn't. Because Drew Brees likes to throw the deep ball, likes to move the ball around.
And Drew Brees is still spreading the ball.
But now he doesn't have all the options. You don't have a really good tight end. You just
Jared
started.
Cook is going off the past 3
just
games.
started using Jared Cook
Because Drew Brees just
But
came back.
When you had Graham, man, he was throwing that ball to Graham, throwing that ball all over the place.
Graham was our best receiver. That's why
But-
he wanted to get paid as a
But
receiver.
now you guys, I mean, so I'm telling you, when you get to a good playoff game and they take Michael Thomas away and they take away your running back like the Cowboys did when we played just, who's Drew Brees throwing the ball to?
Yeah, it's funny you said it because there's been multiple situations throughout the past 2 years. I mean, the playoff game against the Eagles, Drew Brees threw the ball to 5 different receivers and a touchdown. Like, if you're telling me right now that, okay, Michael Thomas is out, Kamara's out, You can't. It's Drew Brees. Drew Brees is gonna throw to Ted Ginn. He's gonna throw to Traquan Smith. He's gonna throw to Jared Cook. Like, it's gonna happen. It's Drew Brees. Drew Brees throws the ball to everybody.
And I listen to you, and I'm in your group chats with you and Hunter.
I'm not in group chats.
When was it 2 weeks ago when
When
you
I
were
was
playing
talking about the
Carolina?
penalties.
Yeah, and how Drew Brees stupid plays.
No,
Come
pull
on.
those texts up. Pull those texts
you
up.
guys are.
We did not talk about Drew
you,
Brees.
You guys always argue about Drew Brees. That was a dumb throw. That was this. That was
we
that.
were talking about the penalties in the game because there was a ridiculous amount of penalties against the Saints for pass interference.
Anyway, we'll get to that later on about the whole power rankings, and you'll probably have the Saints as number 1 in the league.
What I was going to say, though, is, you always ran that Michael Thomas is only good because of Drew Brees. He averaged 107 yards with Teddy Bridgewater. All I'm saying, he's a good receiver. I think he's the best receiver in the league right now.
Sure. You can say whatever you want. I think DeAndre Hopkins is the best hands in the NFL. I think he's one of the best receivers in the league.
Do you know Michael Thomas dropped his first pass in like 80 receptions the other day?
Okay.
Hopkins has dropped multiple ones.
Okay, but what is...
You just told me Hopkins has the best hands. That's all I'm saying.
What is his average route run? 5 yards? 10 yards?
Dude, I don't know.
See, you don't know
average
all the
route run.
Yeah, what does he go, like a 5 yard out, and then the runs after the catch or where he gets his yardage? He does a lot across the middle. He don't go deep often. He's not your deep threat.
Dude, you know what's funny?
He's like a skinny version of a tight end.
It's like there's always an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
Like,
it's
you know
the
how
truth.
people are like, oh,
It's
that
the
quarterback's only good because there's a good offensive line. Oh, Michael Thomas is only good because he goes 5 to 10 yards. Oh, Michael Thomas is only good because Drew Brees is his quarterback. It's like an excuse after an excuse after an excuse.
Michael Thomas is your man crush.
No, it's recognition. Like, I think he's the best receiver in the league. You could easily argue that.
We can argue it all day long. I'm not going to agree with that.
You're going to tell me Hopkins is better than him this year? No, not at all.
If you look at overall what they can do,
okay,
Hopkins can go inside. He can go outside. He can go long.
Thomas can go long.
You don't ever see him go long.
Because we have Ted Ginn who goes long.
Ted Ginn's washed up.
Listen, Ted Ginn may be washed up, but he still goes yard with Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm. Ted Ginn's best years was when he's in college.
All I'm saying, man, it's just like I'm hearing a lot of excuses why.
It's not excuses.
No, it's just like every time I talk about Michael Thomas, it's like you just want to bring him down. Like,
not bringing him down. You're trying to put him up.
Because he deserves it.
Well, that's good. Individual stats are great. Let's see if it gets you a Super Bowl.
I'm hoping it does.
Okay. Well, you can hope for that. I can't hope for that this year.
You can hope for that. Your team could easily make the playoffs.
Okay. Anyway, see, that's the difference. I look through a coach's eye. You look like a fan's eye.
I'm looking through stats.
That's fine. That is fine. But if you look at all the other teams that are below Michael Thomas, they have multiple good receivers on those teams.
Okay. I believe in Traquan Smith. He came off an injury this year, and I'm hoping he does well. We draft him in the 3rd round. If we can get him going, that's awesome. We got 2 good receivers.
Well, to answer your question anyway, is this the best season in history? It could be, but he's got a couple more yards to go to catch the top of the top.
Yeah. Because all joking aside, we can truly say he's put on record numbers this year.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad receiver. I'm really not. But I'm just saying that the Saints don't have other weapons right now that can help you if someone takes him away.
Listen, all I'm saying is I'm liking, because what sucks is, we signed Jared Cook to this deal, and then Drew Brees goes down. There's no connection with him. Jared Cook actually honestly looked like a washed.
I just don't know why they don't use Jared Cook the same way they use Jimmy Graham, because Jared Cook's just as good.
But they are now. Like, since Drew Brees has come back, in these past 3 games, I mean, Jared Cook is, I think, averaging like at least 50 yards. Like, they're starting to get him rolling, which is nice.
If I'm not mistaken, Jared Cook led the Raiders with, 101 receptions last year or something like that?
And what's nice is he's starting to average a touchdown these past 3 games, too. So, like, if we can get him rolling, because that gives you 3 options then. You got Cook, you got Thomas, you got Kamara. It's hard for a defense to cover all those guys.
Well, I'll give you credit. I mean, the Saints are a good team, but like I said, I still think they have weaknesses. When a good team plays them in the playoffs, they can take them away. Mm-hmm. Like, they can't stop the pass. They're great against the run. They can't stop the pass.
Yeah.
But every team has flaws.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be a perfect team. They're going to have something wrong.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel tired now after that argument. No, but I'm excited.
You know what aggravates me the most about the NFL right now? When the NFL blows calls and then they call you on Monday morning, they call the team and let them know that they messed up the calls.
It just makes it worse.
It does. It absolutely sucks. And and I hate bringing up Dallas, but Dallas had a chance to beat New England, and they called those 2 phantom tripping calls. And the NFL reached out to the Dallas Cowboys Monday morning and said, "Look, we messed up. They shouldn't have called them." That's why I keep saying they need an official in the booth. I mean, how hard is it for an official in the booth to have a screen in front of him so as soon as a flag comes down, he's monitoring that penalty and he can buzz down. When they're huddling up and they're trying to talk about what plays where and how many yards it is, he can buzz down and say, nope, pick it up. It was a bad call. Or no, leave it as a good call. Call it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's no reason why the NFL can't do this. I mean, you know what sucks? You watch college sports. And these guys are trying to get to the pros. They're supposed to make mistakes. You see less flags in college football.
I said that to you that Saturday.
Than you do in the pros.
It's like they allow them to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Let them play.
Let them battle it out almost.
I mean, look at the Michigan-Ohio State game. Mm-hmm. Look how many hand gestures, like the
you
battling.
could have called pass interference a lot, but they let them play it.
Yeah. It's just the NFL is getting so soft, and it's ruining the sport. I mean, you're averaging 10 penalties a game.
You know what's annoying too is I saw updates like 3 guys. I think one was from Jacksonville. They're getting fined for taunting. It's are you kidding me?
I'm sick and tired of it. The NFL
what
has
happened
to
to
lighten
trash
up.
talk?
Yeah, it's so stupid.
It's one thing if you're like threatening somebody, but like if you're taunting, like, are you kidding me? You're gonna fine them $10,000 for that?
Yeah.
It's just getting so soft. No, we were watching the Michigan-Ohio State game, and I said to you, it's funny. It's I think it was the first half, and there was one flag maybe for like pass interference. But if you're in the NFL, you have a 90% chance you throw the ball deep, there's going to be a flag.
It smells like someone don't know how to make popcorn in the house.
It kind of really smells good, but it's making me hungry. But it's frustrating. What's funny, too, is I'm tired of the NFL coming up for it. Like, they should allow the refs to come out and be like, that was our fault. In real time, it looked like it was a flag, but it wasn't. I think that'd clear it up for the fans a little bit. When you have the NFL send you an email, it's like, hey, we screwed up. Like, who's that helping?
But the only thing that they're finally getting right is they're finally overturning pass interference calls.
Yeah.
And they're actually using the red flag now. I guess the last seven calls over the last 2 weeks, they reversed 4 of them.
They need to. They don't sometimes.
Which is up. It's up considerably compared to what they did earlier. So before they weren't even calling it. So maybe the NFL finally said,
another
you know what,
thing
make the
too
call.
is when they go to those replays, it's one guy.
Yeah.
Why don't they have 3? That way it balances it out. What's funny is you think about how serious this sport is, how big this sport is.
It's a big money sport, but they're going to start losing
would,
people because they don't want to see this crap.
You would think that these full-time refs, they should be practicing. Well, they should, because, and get some younger guys in there too. There's like, I understand like in real time, it probably does look like stuff. You probably miss a lot because we see it from camera angles in slow motion, in real time.
But so did they.
They probably miss a lot of that stuff, but like, they got to get better officiating. There's so many flags that are called, and then they miss the big ones.
But the problem is these guys aren't full-time employees.
Yeah.
They're attorneys. They do whatever they do in the off season. So, they should make them full-time so they can actually work on calls. Yeah. Go to these preseason games instead of using, like, phantom referees. And actually work on the game because the game is getting out of hand.
And I don't know if it's like baseball, but like the umpires in baseball, they go through tough training for that.
Yeah.
They go through some like real training for that. I don't know if their NFL referees do that, but they need to do something. Studying playbooks. How about that? Like studying like iPads of like replays.
Or make them review the games. Make them watch film after the game and see what calls they blew.
That wasn't a call.
Almost every kickoff anymore, it's like they might as well not even kick off anymore. I'm so sick of flags. It seems like every good play that a team does, there's always a holding call too.
Dude,
every long run, every screen pass, holding. It's always coming back. Every kickoff, it's always a block in the back.
And you think about it too, you have third down and like an important third down, and they throw the ball and it's deflected. You like hold your breath for a second because there's a lot of late flags too now. So you kind of hold your breath. You're like, okay, no flags, no flags, no flags. Okay, we're good.
Well, I've held my breath so much watching the Cowboys play. I'm surprised I'm still breathing and living. I mean, every time the kicker comes on the field, I'm holding my breath. It's just football is a mess right now, and I know it's a big money sport. And it's a big money market, but they're making the game long and boring with all these damn penalties.
What's nice for you is that the Eagles got beat by Miami today.
But
I like Miami's coach.
Miami's looking good though.
Miami's doing it right because
they have nothing to lose.
There's a lot of people that are saying, they could just straight tank and lose bad.
Yeah.
But that coach, like, he's giving it. He doesn't want to just lose. Like, if he's gonna lose, he wants to go with a fight.
Because let's face it, he's fighting for his job, and so are these players.
If they fire him, this is his first year of the team.
If they fire him, I've seen it.
How are you gonna fire a guy when you trade half your people away?
Yeah, I've seen it though.
But no, dude, what's tough for the Eagles right now? What's shocking too? Okay, is you have the Eagles defense. Past 2 weeks have looked amazing. Fitzpatrick lit them up today.
Yeah.
I mean, he did throw one interception, but he had 3 touchdowns, I think 300 passing yards. He went off.
But the Eagles are a mess. I mean, they're talking about firing the coach. They're talking about getting rid of Wentz. They're talking. It's horrible. It really is.
There's no loyalty.
I feel bad for them because I know exactly what we're going through. I listen to 105.3 The Fan every Monday through Friday, and what the team and what these people are saying about the team, and it's horrible. I mean, every year would be a rebuild because these fans just want to get rid of everybody, and it's frustrating.
What's tough is you have a lot of, and I hate to say it, Wentz looks bad. He looks good, but he looks bad. He's throwing a lot of inaccurate passes to wide open guys.
But you know what sucks about them? They don't have a running game. And if you don't have a running game and you're one-dimensional,
they have like 3 guys back there, but a lot of them are screen passes.
yeah.
But Jeffrey went off.
Jordan
I think
Howard, I said that he wasn't a good pickup. He's a north-south runner.
and they don't use that.
Yeah, who's that little rookie? That small.
They have Sanders, who's playing well.
Yeah, I mean he's a little speedster that he can get up and down the field, go east to west and everything, and do screens. But
I mean, they just signed Ajayi.
Ajayi doesn't look like he can do anything.
I had this conversation the other day with an Eagles fan too. You think about, if you're a running back, you have 2 other guys you're competing with. It's hard to get into a groove. You're out there for like one play, and then you're sitting out 5 plays, and you go out there for another play.
But let's face it, Ertz isn't having the year that he had last year. Last year he had a freaking phenomenal year because I had him in fantasy. He dropped 2 touchdown passes today.
Yeah.
He's dropping a lot of passes. Imagine Dallas Goedert's actually playing pretty well. They've been using him a lot, but they got a Sean Jeffries back today. He did pretty well.
137 receiving yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. So I mean, you can't. That's the thing, man. Everyone wants to blame one person. You can't.
It's a team sport, man. It's a team sport.
Fire everybody. Get rid of this person. Get rid of that person. But at the end of the day, it's not going to fix the problems. It's not.
You think about it, the coach can only coach so much. These players got to play.
And every team, you have all these teams, they're trying to get to the same place that are getting better and working on things. Who thought the 49ers were going to be this good? Nobody picked
I thought
them.
that they would be good with Garoppolo. I didn't think their defense would be this good.
I guarantee if you look back at everyone's projections, they had the Rams up there and they had Seattle up there. They didn't have the 49ers
I think
up
me
there.
and you picked Seattle and then the 49ers.
Yeah, they didn't have the 49ers up there.
If I'm not mistaken, I think we predicted the Rams to have a bad year.
I don't know what to look. I know I picked the Bears to have a bad year, but I don't know, man. It's just so frustrating. It really is.
Well, the 49ers and Baltimore had a great game today.
Yeah.
What sucks is that it was downpouring.
Yeah.
So I mean that sucks. I mean I don't think you had one receiver over 50 yards, which in a game like that you really can't. Lamar, that's your MVP. That's your MVP.
You know what? I watched that game today, and don't get me wrong, they're good. They really are good, but I can't watch that. I can't watch that Madden style football. It's like watching high school, college football on a Sunday. I mean, they are really good, but man, he runs a lot and he takes a lot of hits in the game.
Well, he doesn't go out of bounds. He just runs like a
That's
receiver.
what I mean. He takes a lot of hits.
He had 100 yards rushing, 100 yards throwing, and he had a touchdown. That team just looks. Eric Weddle came out last week after they played them and said, "You can't tell who has the ball in that team."
With the dark jerseys.
And you think about okay, you have Ingram, you have Lamar. If they're doing read option, bro, they're both fast. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't know who to go after either. But that defense looks good. The offense looks good. That honestly, if we're doing our power rankings right now, I was thinking about this earlier. Like, that's my number 1 team.
But just to go back for 1 minute, for all those people that say like the Cowboys players quit on Jason Garrett, then why the hell did Dak Prescott take a quarterback sneak and run and lower his shoulder into a bunch of defensive players to get a first down? If he quit, he wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? If you quit on your coach, you're going to go out of bounds. You're going to slide. But he put his body and went head first for a first down. Yeah. Not to ramble on about that, but that aggravates me. It really does.
That's me. I've been there.
But I think Baltimore's defense is really good. I think if the weather was a little bit different, I think it would have been a better game.
I mean, I think it came down to winning field goal. What's funny is that with Tucker kicked a 45-yard field goal, the kickers were averaging, I think, a 35-yard field goal before the game because of the wind, the rain.
But the 49ers did show Baltimore's weakness. They can't stop the run going from side to side.
Oh yeah, I think that guy I wrote it down here, 146 rushing yards.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, Mazur or something like that.
But both teams, like, they both threw, I think, about over 110 passing yards. They threw the ball pretty well for how bad it was raining.
Yeah.
I mean, their completion percentage is great. 15 for 21, 14 for 23. Both had a touchdown.
Lamar Jackson's going to do something no one's ever done. He's going to have 3,000 yards passing and over 1,000 yards
breaking
receiving.
records, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's on pace for I think 1,200 yards rushing.
he's gonna pass all the Michael Vick stats. It's gonna happen.
He's a different quarterback than Michael Vick, though. He really is. Michael Vick didn't have the speed like this guy. This guy is just phenomenal. He
Yeah,
really
we
is.
were talking about this too about RG3, how he's like RG3. But listen, Lamar has a cannon. That ball. What's funny is when you watch him throw the ball, it's like he just puts nothing into it, but it comes out like a bullet. Like his arm motion is just so nonchalant, and it comes out 40 yards deep. It's amazing to watch. A lot of people talk trash to me because I didn't want Lamar as a Saints fan because I didn't think we needed a quarterback yet. I wanted to draft a tight end.
Lamar has 2,400 yards passing, 2,427. He's averaging 220 a game. He's on pace. He's on pace for 3,000 yards.
Which not many people do.
No,
Drew
no,
Brees done it
no.
5 times. So just so you know.
I was looking for the rushing yards for the quarterback, but I didn't see them on here. I don't even know if they're gonna have them listed under the running backs, but they might. No, I don't see him. I'm probably going to have to scroll over, but he's on another level. There's no one's going to catch him in the MVP run, especially because it's so much easier to pick him as the MVP when your team's winning. You know, there's no debate about it. There's no like Mike Trout thing like in baseball. You know, he's on a winning team, and he's on pace to do things, and he's in a good place.
I said to you today, I had never seen Baltimore look like this before. On both sides of the field.
He's got 24 passing touchdowns, only 5 picks. So, yeah, it's weird that they don't put the rushing yards on here.
Yeah. We got to give it up. Not the Packers. Steelers and the Browns, they had rematched today after the whole Myles Garrett thing and everything.
Right there, I got to tell you right now, the Steelers coach, Tomlin, coach of the year. It has to be.
They're 7-5.
It has to be.
They lost Big Ben. Traded Le'Veon Bell. They lost Le'Veon Bell. Lost Antonio Brown. Juju's out. Connor's out. You're done with Mason Rudolph. You put Hodges back in. Hodges wins. Even when you had Rudolph in, like you're 7-5 right now.
And their defense is great.
Oh, their defense is great.
Yeah, their defense is it's really helping them out.
They find the right quarterback to put in there. I mean, Hodges honestly isn't that bad. Rudolph, I don't think Rudolph's your guy. As much as I thought Rudolph would be their guy. They won 20-13. Listen, my biggest thing with this game is...
I think you got to draft a quarterback, though, to be honest with you.
I think that's what you're missing.
I think Big Ben comes back. I think you keep Hodges, but I think Mason Rudolph, I don't think he's all that good. I had Juju and I traded him.
He threw a lot of picks.
Yeah, but I think you have to start looking after Ben.
I think you look for a good pocket passer.
Yeah.
They got some weapons.
And
they
it's
got
going to
some running
suck
backs.
because this is going to be a good quarterback draft, and they gave away their pick.
But you stacked your defense for it.
Mika Fitzpatrick.
My thing, though, is what's going on with Baker, man? Baker went 18 for 32 with only 196 passing yards. And this is where I think the offense line really is struggling. He got sacked 5 times today.
Yeah.
It's tough to play when you're running for your life.
And
you know that from Romo. Romo was running through his life all the
and
time.
they have an easy schedule the rest of the way. Kareem Hunt did a real good job for me today in fantasy.
But it sucks, man. You think about the big names that are on there. I mean, Odell Beckham had 25 yards receiving, I think. I don't think anyone had over 50 yards receiving on their team.
Well, I don't even know what the weather was like there. I don't think they had any rain or anything.
But you think you got Kareem Hunt, you got Nick Chubb, you got Landry, you got Odell Beckham. It's just I don't understand, man. I didn't get to watch the game, so I don't know what it looked like. But I mean, look at the stats: 5 sacks, and his completion percentage is kind of crap.
Well,
I'm assuming he wasn't getting time to throw.
They got the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Bengals coming up. The Bengals, the Cardinals, the Ravens, then the Bengals again. And the Bengals got their first win. The Red Rocket was back.
Yeah,
Andy Dalton came back. And you know what's funny? He got benched on his birthday, and they brought him back. They brought him back. And
well, I said from the get-go, the first couple podcasts we do, I said Andy Dalton's not playing bad.
No.
He's putting on. I mean, he went 22 for 37 with 243 yards passing and a touchdown. Darnold, dude.
And they beat the Jets, who were on a 3-game win streak.
Darnold's another guy, too. It's like, is he your guy? I mean, he doesn't show signs of consistency.
That whole organization's a mess.
He went 28 for 48 and then 0 touchdowns, 4 sacks. That team, on paper, that team looked pretty good this year.
Yeah. They're like the Cowboys. They look good on paper.
I mean,
they're
they could
paper
use
champions.
They could use some receiver help. I mean, they put not Emmanuel Sanders. They put Demaryius Thomas in there for some veteran help, and they have Robbie Anderson. But
He had a big game today, 100+ yards receiving.
it's just like teams like that. Like it's like you gotta win those games. Cincinnati didn't even have a win.
They do now.
Yeah, they do now.
And you know another game that shocked me, the Washington Redskins beat the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and what's funny is Carolina played great in the dome, and then you go out and you lose to the Washington Haskins, dude. Is that there's just so many. There's so many franchises right now that they're just a mess.
Well, you know, it went from Carolina saying maybe we should look past Cam now.
I still think you do.
I don't. I think, you know, since they lost how many games now, they're 5-6.
I think there's
5-7. I think you have to bring Cam back. I really do.
I still don't think Kyle.
You could always trade him away if you have to, but they're 5-7. They lost 4 in a row.
Well, he's out for the rest of the season.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying they lost 4 in a row. You got to bring Cam back next year, and you got to try to.
Kyle Allen
right
still
the
looks
ship.
good though for a young quarterback.
I don't know what his stats were today, but they're 2-4 at home. They're only 1-3 in the division. Man, that's a tough call. I still think you got to bring Cam back.
The Buccaneers, though, I think just to keep talking about that division, I think you got to get. What's weird is Winston's a quarterback that he's putting up a lot of passing yards, but he's throwing a lot of picks. A lot of picks. I think it's time for him to move on. I think it's time for a change of scenery for him. You got a new coach in there. You got a decent defense, and you drafted White. I think it's time for him to go.
Kyle Allen was 27-46, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
Hey, he's not putting
Plus-
bad, he's not putting
Plus
bad
he had
stats
that
up.
fumble.
I'm thinking about the fumble with 2 seconds left to win, not even win the game.
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing bad.
Well, there's going to be a lot of teams that have to make a lot of tough decisions in this offseason. Like the Chicago Bears, Trubisky looked good on Thanksgiving, but, you know, the rest of the season he's been kind of crapola.
Listen, I've been trying to stick up for this man. I think that it's just gotten to his head, and that maybe like it's just one of those things where like a change of scenery will help him.
You know,
But-
the Colts went down to Tennessee today. Tannehill really rejuvenated his career.
Tannehill's gonna be a starting quarterback for the next couple of years.
The Rams came out. Goff came out today and said, people are talking crap about me. I'm going to show you. He put up 324 yards passing in the first half. He looked really good today.
Tennessee is fighting for that division, man. They're 7-5.
Denver beat the Chargers again, 23-20.
Drew Lock, his debut, they drafted him.
I think the Chargers are done. You know, that organization's a mess. You need
time
to
for
break away
Phillip
from Phillip.
Phillip
Yeah,
Rivers, time to go. It's time to go.
It has to. Kansas City.
They're 4-8, man.
Kansas City rebound. They came back. They won big today against Oakland, 40-9. Oakland has now lost 2 in a row. They were so hot, and now they're just
You gotta give it though.
mediocre.
Oakland's put up like a decent record for what they looked like this year.
Yeah. And Jacksonville's another team. They struggled today, and they ended up benching their starter, Nick Foles, the big money quarterback for Minshew.
Who put up some decent stats.
And people are starting to call for Minshew. They want him. They want him to start. So now you're in a situation where you're paying this Nick Foles big money, and you can't have him as a backup. You really can't. You can't have a big money quarterback as a backup. So
You could.
do you trade him? What do you do?
I don't know. Maybe he'll retire. He's been through a lot.
He just signed a big deal, so I mean, we'll have to figure that out because
The Chargers, though, man, they were predicted to go to the World Series, the Super Bowl. 4-8.
not in my pick.
We did. We laughed at that.
Let's do our power rankings, our NFL power rankings 1 through 5, and you give me your top 5, and I'll give you my top 5.
My number 1 is Baltimore,
I agree with you.
and then my number 2 would be the Patriots.
I disagree with you.
Um,
My number 2 I have is the 49ers. I just think
I don't think the 49ers are real yet.
I
think that these next couple of games are going to decide that.
I tell you what, to go into Baltimore, and play tough in Baltimore in a loud environment and only lose by 3, that's tough for me. I just don't think New England, I don't think they have the quality receivers. I think their defense has been keeping them alive in a very, very weak schedule. And they don't have the receivers other than Edelman. I mean, and they use the 5 different running backs in a screen game. I just don't think they have the weapons to go far.
No.
And their defense is bound to have a bad game. And my number 2 I have is the 49ers.
I'll give you my top 5, and then I'll talk to you why I picked these top 5. I have Baltimore, Patriots, the Saints at number 3, Seattle Niners. This is why. Yeah, I see you smirking. The only reason I put the Niners at 5 is because I don't know yet about them. They play tough teams these next couple of weeks, and then that will change for me. I want to see how they play. Only reason I put the Saints above Seattle is because Saints beat Seattle with a back quarterback, and they haven't lost since that. I'm just kidding. I made that up. I think Seattle easily top 5. Easily.
I don't have Seattle in my top 5.
Really?
I have Baltimore number 1, the 49ers number 2. I have Minnesota number 3. Minnesota is tough.
I don't think they're top 5.
I think Minnesota is becoming a complete team, and I think Minnesota can beat anyone. Anywhere.
I think Minnesota's good, but I don't think they're top 5 yet. For me.
I have New Orleans as 4, and I have New England at number 5.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I have Seattle. Seattle is probably my 6th, and Kansas City somewhere around there.
I think Seattle beats Minnesota.
I don't think so. Seattle. I mean, don't get me wrong. Russell Wilson's good, but if they keep him contained, I mean, Philadelphia did a good job against him. If you contain him and keep him from scrambling and force him to throw, all he has is he has Lockett, he has Hollister, and he has Gordon.
Lockett's injured, I think.
Lockett played last week. He has Gordon, who hasn't done anything.
Listen,
So-
I think Seattle's tough.
Well, he has that young kid, too, Metcalf, that always catches a big pass every now and then. But I don't think so. I don't. And they're going to be a wild card team. They're going to be on the road the whole playoffs.
Where's that game today? Is that tomorrow? Is that in Seattle or is that in Minnesota?
It's in Seattle. Minnesota versus Seattle in Seattle.
Kirk Cousins isn't coming out with that win.
Minnesota's going to show everybody.
Kirk Cousins is not coming out with that win.
Okay. That's it. They said the same thing about him when he came to Dallas. They can't win the big games. He can't win on the big.
That's
the big
Dallas, though.
It doesn't matter. They can't win on the big stage. Can't win on the primetime games. And he came out and he's you watch.
And I'm not trying to say Dallas is bad, but I think Dallas and Seattle are two different teams.
I don't think so. I just think Kirk Cousins is better than what people are saying. And
I'm not dissing him.
You
because
just did.
No,
And
because
it's
we
fine.
said on the
Because-
podcast when Kirk Cousins gets it, that team's gonna be good.
Because-
I'm not saying they're not good. I just don't think they're gonna beat Seattle.
When because Minnesota's going to win that division. Don't get me wrong. Minnesota's going to win that division.
You think the Packers won again, so they're still
I don't
first.
care. The Packers beat a shit team today, Giants, in a snowstorm. Minnesota's going to win that division, and the Saints are going to have to come marching in, and it ain't going to happen. Minnesota's
Minnesota's
I'll take
coming to the
Minnesota.
Dome. Minnesota's coming to the
I don't
Dome.
care where Minnesota goes and plays them in
coming
the
to
parking
the
lot across the
Dome.
street, on the church, on the concrete. Minnesota's winning that game.
Listen, Minnesota coming to that Dome, you know that Saints are walking out with that W.
No.
All the history with that team.
It's going to be 3 years in a row where you're going to get a box of tissues and you're going to sit there and cry your eyes out because something's going to happen when they're going to lose again. But I just don't, like I said about New England, I don't think they have the weapons.
As
I
good
think this
as
is
their
the year
record-
Tommy Brady
yeah.
goes down. Tom's been under a lot of pressure with that offensive line, and he's the only one I know that gets away with throwing the ball out of bounds without breaking the pocket. You know? I don't get it. The NFL is like, let's protect Tommy, and
with how well their record is, I think their defense is good, but I think that team's so beatable.
their defense won half those games for them.
I mean, think how close that Eagles game was. It was such a close game.
And Dallas could have beat them, should have beat them, but they had the phantom tripping calls. But I just don't think. I think,
And I'm not taking that
I
success
think
away
Tom-
from them. Like, don't get me wrong, they're a good team, but I think they're beatable. I think they're so beatable.
well, they're gonna have to play Kansas City. They have Kansas City coming up, and
Kansas City, I don't know. I don't have confidence in Kansas City. Like Mahomes, don't get me wrong, but that team's, I don't know. Team's iffy.
they'll be fine. They put up 40 today.
Yeah, against Oakland.
It doesn't matter. They're gonna be fine. Kansas City's gonna be there. I don't think Kansas City's gonna go far in the playoffs. I think if Baltimore plays their cards right, it's their championship. It really is. I just think
so.
their offense and their defense, they're tough, and.
I think if Drew Brees wins the Super Bowl, I think he's retiring and giving it to Teddy Bridgewater.
And let's face it, New England's gonna get the number 1 seed because they're playing in a crap division. They're gonna just.
The Bills are still there.
They're good.
Bills
at home.
are still there.
They're good at home. Oh, yeah, but the Bills.
Anything
the
could
Bills-
happen. Patriots could lose 2 games in a row, and next you know,
I don't know.
I think they got to play the Bills again
New
too.
New England's playing Houston right now, so this is a little bit of a test for them. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll eat crow tonight, and Tom Brady will throw for 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. Don't see it happening though.
No,
I
don't.
don't know. I just my personal opinion is I just don't think this is the year for the Brady. I think this is the year all the big dogs fall down. Alabama, boom, gone. You know what I mean?
Alabama lost on a bad call.
Duke had a 150 game win streak against non-conference teams. Boom, gone. They lost. This is the year the big dogs get knocked off. And I think New England's the next one. I think they get knocked off. Boom, gone, done.
Boom, gone.
Yeah.
Listen,
Hey, the only thing I'm proud about is the Sixers and the Flyers keep winning, and that is awesome.
I mean, after Embiid didn't score one single point, and then he goes off and has like a 34-point game.
Yeah, they're in a very tough division. They're the number 5 seed right now. I think who is it? Who's in first in that division? Oh, shit, gotta go to that.
I got it right here. Don't you?
They
worry.
won like
Milwaukee's in first place.
They won like 11 games in a row, right?
Wow, man, I haven't checked the standings in a while. From like 1 to 6, like there's some good teams.
Yeah,
you know, everyone talked crap on the East. Everyone said the East is gonna be trash.
But if you look at our top 8 compared to the West's top 8, I mean, look at Look at the Orlando Magic at number 8, 7 and 11. Crap. But I mean, Milwaukee Bucks. I mean,
nobody thought Toronto was gonna be good.
Milwaukee won 11 in a row.
Toronto lost most of their team.
Toronto won 7 in a row.
How about Miami?
The Miami Heat, they won 2 in a row. The Sixers won 3 in a row. I mean, the top 5 are set. Seriously, the top 5 are set. Indiana's they're sitting there. They're 12 and 7. But after that, it falls off. Brooklyn 10 and 10. Orlando 11 and 7.
Still a lot of
Charlotte
left,
8 and 13. There is, but it's gonna go fast. But if you scroll and you look at the West, look at the West, man.
Yeah, that would suck to be on a team that's 4 and 16, knowing that you never win.
Dude, that surprised me. The Lakers freaking 17 and 3.
Yeah, but with the West, there's only like the top 6. That's it.
Denver Nuggets, Clippers, Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks are shocking everybody.
Dude,
Houston
Golden
Rockets.
State 4 and 16.
Yeah, they have nobody, dude.
Everyone's injured.
They have nobody.
Russell's injured. Curry's injured. Thompson's injured.
They're battling for the battle of the suck. You know what shocks me the most? San Antonio Spurs and the Portland Trail Blazers. I thought for sure they would be up there. 7 and 14, 8 and 12.
Yo, listen. Portland, though, Melo, playing great.
Yeah, he is.
Playing great. I don't know what took a team so long to sign this man. Like, he played well in Houston. But, like, it's like the Colin Kaepernick thing. Like, I don't, like, it's completely opposite, actually. I don't understand as far as what took a team so long to sign this man, because he's playing still at an elite level.
Yeah. I just, the NBA is a funny entity. Damn, I'm having problems with my headphones. It's a sport where
I mean, he's averaging 17 points a game. I just pulled that up real quick to see what that was at. And he's only played 6 games so far.
Yeah. But it's a sport where, I heard you and Noah talking downstairs about Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan was playing today, he would be like a Lou Williams off the bench.
No, yeah, he was like Michael Jordan would be like I don't even remember what name he said. Some trash player. He's like he wouldn't even be a Kobe. I was like, dude, what are you talking about?
Of shit. Now, I gotta tell you something right now, because when Michael Jordan played, you didn't have these little baby fouls where you just drive down the lane and you throw your hands in the air and they blow the whistle. If you went to the line in the NBA back then, you earned it.
Yeah.
You earned it. LeBron James, I mean, what's he average? 25 points, but half of them are from the foul line? Come on. These guys are soft. They wouldn't be able to.
Would you say that to his face?
If LeBron James,
say that to LeBron's face?
James went, because he won't touch me with the camera on. If LeBron James went down the lane, and a Bill Laimbeer elbowed him in the throat, he'd never go down the lane again. Back in the day, when you had Charles Barkley, Rick Mahorn, and you had these bad dudes down there, you got fouled when you knew it because you were laying on the ground looking up at them. They'll elbow you in the eye and everything. Mm-hmm. And they didn't blow fouls. They did not. They let you play back then. You earned. Whatever you got, you earned.
I don't know why they do that now. Like, why it's so babyish.
It's so soft. You got
it's
freaking...
Every sport. Like, I know there's injuries
and everything.
You got
James Harden making his own phantom step three-pointer. I mean, that's the crock with his 60 points the other night. So dumb. Anyway, the only thing that the Sixers need to do is they need to work on their turnovers. That's the thing that's killing them. And still some of the stupid shots they take. But statistically, man, they're a solid team. I mean, they got 5 guys in double digits for points average per game. And they got to clean it up. They got to clean it up, and they got to get Embiid has to learn when he's double teamed, kick the ball out, pass it out, and get other people involved. But...
Yeah. Ready for the snow tomorrow?
No. I got to give a shout out, though, to our Michigan Wolverines. Michigan Wolverines.
Wait, why are we
college-
giving them a shot? Oh,
College basketball,
okay.
baby. They are now like
was gonna
7-0. They are not ranked. They went down to the Bahamas Atlantis Challenge and they knocked off number 6 North Carolina and they beat number 8 Gonzaga to win the championship. Unranked, and they're now sitting 8-0. Have a big game this Tuesday night against number 2 Louisville.
I thought for sure you were gonna say gotta give a shout to Michigan football. I was like, bro, we haven't beat Ohio State in 15 years.
Dickie V gave him an awesome with a capital A, baby, and said that they can play with anybody. They're a bunch of diaper dandies. Yeah, I'm not ready for that snow tonight, man. The weather's anywhere from 5 to 10 to 1 to 5 to ice, and which we're already getting the ice. But
We're coming up on our 1 year soon,
yeah, I know.
February.
We
We'll have to
need,
do a special podcast for that.
Yeah.
Pull out the old table.
maybe we'll call our old guest and get him to come on.
Yeah, Gibby. Gibby was our first guest. But that's it for this podcast, guys. We hope you enjoyed it.
It was a lot of fun.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
It's been a hot
Did you have
minute,
any problems?
man.
Did you
We've
have
been
any-
very, very busy lately.
Did you have any problems with your video?
No, I got rid of all that stuff that's on there.
Nice.
50 minutes and going.
We'll get this uploaded today and tomorrow. But we hope you guys enjoy this nice cold day wherever you're at. But hope you guys enjoy this podcast, and thank you for listening.
All right.